Hey everyone, so in tonight's video I'm going to be sharing with you how I created these super cute Halloween shaker bookmarks. I used the Whimsy stamp Jack-o'-lantern Joy from the artist Kirsten Winkelbauer. I'll have it linked down below in case you guys want to pick it up. But ever since I saw this, I wanted to use it for a bookmark. So first off, I'm just going to stamp out my image on some Strathmore watercolor paper, and I'm just coloring her in using my Tim Holtz Distress markers. For her skin, I use the color Tattered Rose, and this is basically me just coloring her up. I really love this image. I think she's super cute. I love the artist. Like I mentioned before, her name is Kirsten Winkelbauer. I'll go ahead and link her Instagram down below where you guys can check out a lot more of her artwork, as well as where you can pick up this stamp. So I'm just coloring her in with my Bria Reese water brush. I believe that's how you say her name, but I love this water brush. I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and after I'm done coloring her skin, I'm going to color in her pumpkin skirt. So the color that I use for her pumpkin skirt is Carved Pumpkin, of course, and I'm just going to be starting at the bottom and top of her dress and flicking outward. So if I'm at the bottom, I'm just flicking upward. If I'm at the top of her dress, I'm just flicking downward. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's just how I color with these. And I'm going to be coloring in the band to her hat as well. And then I'm just going to take my water brush and go through her skirt, dragging that color into the center. These are really easy to use, and I just love coloring with them. I feel like I've been coloring a lot lately in this Halloween series that I have here on my channel, so I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm trying to fit a little bit of everything: paper crafting with paper collections, as well as coloring and making cards and tags and things. So I'm trying a little bit of everything, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So here I have this clear cellophane baggie that I'm just going to be coloring onto with my black soot distress ink marker, and I'm just taking my water brush and picking up that color and coloring in her top. I do this because I don't want the harshness of the black on her top, because I still want you to be able to see the details in her top, like her buttons and the ruffles. And the great thing about these distress ink markers is that they're very buildable, so you can build up the color. Say you want it this light, you can leave it that light. If you want it a little darker, you can keep adding on the color once it dries. I would not recommend adding on more color, and I would definitely not recommend going on to your project with your marker directly if it's still wet. That is a mess. I've done that before, not recently because I have learned, but you just want to make sure that you're letting the area dry before adding on your next layer of color. So for right now, I am coloring her hat while her top dries. And then after I'm done coloring her hat, I'm going to go back to her top and add another layer of color. And I'm just basically going to go back and forth until I have the amount of darkness that I want. Because see, like I said, I don't want it to be pitch black, because I still want you to see the details in her top and her hat. Also right now, I'm coloring in her shoes, and I'm just coloring in the little stripes in her socks. This image is so cute. So now I'm just going to take my black soot distress ink marker with my felt tip and color in the features of the jack-o'-lantern, so the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, just because it wasn't completely filled in when I stamped. So I am just coloring that in with my marker. And I absolutely love her skirt. I think this is so adorable. Now I'm going to be going back to my cellophane baggie and adding the color Candied Apple and watering that down, and just adding a couple dots on her cheeks, cleaning my brush and working that color in, cleaning my brush again, and just blending out that color. So I don't get the harshness of the Candied Apple color, but I get a watered down pinky kind of tone. So now I'm doing her hair with ground espresso, and I'm finding all the little tips in her hair. She has a lot of detail in her hair. So I'm finding all the little tips to her hair, and I'm just adding color to those areas. And then once I'm happy with everything, I'm going to get my water brush and just drag the color throughout the white areas of her hair. I think this character's outfit is super adorable. While you guys are watching me color, let me know down in the comments below if you're going to be dressing up for Halloween. If you do, if you throw a party, if you have kids, what are they going to be? I have no clue what my kids are going to be just yet. I'm still kind of brainstorming. Of course, I can let them be whatever they like, but I kind of like to, I don't know, have a say. I know there's a time when that will completely go away and they won't want to hear me at all. But for now, they value my opinion, so they're going to get it. So here I am coloring her in with my water brush. And then after that, well, actually, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. And then I'm going to add lines of color throughout her hair using the fine tip of the ground espresso. And I just think this adds more detail, more definition, and I love doing this. So I'm basically just following the lines that were already put there by the artist, and I am just going with that. And I'm just adding more strands to her hair. So now I'm going to be fussy cutting. I have a love-hate relationship with fussy cutting. I use these Cutter Bee scissors, which help immensely, but I don't know, I'm not very good at it. I love the look of the white border. I know some people cut directly on the line, but I love the look of the white border because it reminds me of like when you would run it through a die cut machine. And I know that I can put it through my Silhouette Cameo, put it in my software and cut the image like that, but that's just too much work for me. I'd rather just sit at my desk and attempt to fussy cut. I think I did an okay job on this image. I think it's just when there's too much detail in the image, and I don't know, I just can't fussy cut. I'm not very good at it. But this image, I actually did a good job, I feel. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any tips for me on how to fussy cut better. If you guys are good at it, if you guys hate it, let me know. I would love to read all your comments. And I'm almost done. I think she came out super, super cute. I love her outfit. I really do. So now I'm just going to be finishing her up. And cutting watercolor paper is a lot harder than cutting cardstock when you're fussy cutting. So yeah, considering that, I think I did a good job. So here I'm going to start coloring in my bookmark. So I have a piece of watercolor paper that measures 2 1/4 by 6, and I'm using carved pumpkin. I was going to do a night sky, but I've done that so many times. You guys know this. I have done so many night skies already for videos on my channel. So I just wanted to try something new. I was thinking an October sky, so that's why I used my carved pumpkin, and I'm just blending that onto my watercolor paper. And the next color I'm going to be using for the ground is Wild Honey. And it's not so much for the ground, I just want a gradient effect when I'm filling in my bookmark. So still blending that color in. This gets super messy. I have also a love-hate relationship with this because I love to do this. I love to play with my distress inks, but they get all over my fingers. So now I'm just flipping around my bookmark, and I'm going to blend in the Wild Honey color with the carved pumpkin. And they're almost similar. Wild Honey is a little darker. So I'm just going to be blending in that color as well. Next, I'm going to be using this stencil. This is from Echo Park's Hocus Pocus collection, and this is just a stencil with bats, and I haven't used stencils in a very long time, so it was very nice to pull this one out and play with it. So I just placed it over my bookmark, and I'm using the Wild Honey color, but I'm stenciling on the end that has the carved pumpkin, and I kind of wanted it to be almost blended into the wild honey. That makes sense. So now I have a little piece of black cardstock that I used my Lawn Fawn Stitched Hillside die to create a little floor for my character to stand on. I used my Tombow Mono adhesive, and I'm just going to be adhering my ground and my image onto my bookmark. And like I said, I had to be very careful because you can see my fingers. They were orange, so I was trying not to smear anything. So, placed her down onto my bookmark. And I'm going to go ahead and take a marker, my black Soot Distress Ink marker actually, and I'm going to color the areas on the sides of the bookmark where the ground is, so it looks kind of seamless. And then after that, I'm using my corner chomper to round my edges, or my corners. And it's funny because I should have did this first and then colored in the sides of my bookmark with my marker. So I go back and I color in the corners right here. And so next I'm going to punch a hole in my bookmark where I'm going to string my ribbon through. And then I'm going to pop this into my plastic page protector. I have a bunch of these on hand, so I'm going to punch through my plastic. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add my eyelet and punch that through the hole as well. And I already went ahead and pre-made a little mix that coordinated with this paper and the colors that I'm using. So I'm going to be adding that. I made sure to add pumpkins to it, so I think it'll look really cute with her pumpkin skirt. I'm going to fuse my bookmark, and I'm fusing the top because there was no lines. Fuse marks, and I just felt like I had to add them there even though it wasn't really necessary. Trimmed the excess of the page protector off, and now I am stringing my ribbon through my eyelet, and I have a few strands of black and white baker's twine that I'm going to tie around my ribbon and make a little bow. So to make sure it stays put, I add a knot first before tying everything off with a bow. And I think this orange ribbon with the black polka dots went really well with the colors of my bookmark. So making a little bow, and then I'm just going to trim the ends of the ribbon off where I would want them, and here are my bookmarks. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I love creating these. These are super fun and easy to make. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon. Love you guys. Bye.